Good afternoon, everybody. Jer here with another Wild Woman Wisdom. So I'm just going to wait for a few people to join in. It is Wednesday today, I believe, and yeah, I got a great topic that I wanted to come on today and talk to everybody about, which is your messaging, your posts, which in turn is talking about presence, which is one of the things that I talk about in my book and in my business. So presence, of course, you know, it's like, what is that exactly, right? So to me, what presence is, and it's kind of done in a 3-step process with the Wild Woman technique, which is once you have pride, so you understand who you are, you have, you know, your weaknesses, your strengths, your astrology, you know, especially being indigenous, you know, where we come from, our nomadacy, our matriarchy, you know, the spiritual and energetic level that I teach a lot for the women that I work with. And so when they gain this sense of pride in themselves, so that would be a man, you know, his sense of being a hero, a provider, being those things, and having those things reflected back to him in his life, that's his essence. That is his pride in who he is as an individual, his identity. He has a sense of belonging. Now, what happens is after you have that, you feel that, you can walk with it in life. Then you can put something out there which we call presence. So it's the way that you hold yourself, your self-confidence, the way that you're able to ask for the things you want and no longer put up with things that you don't want. So that's what I'm talking about when I'm saying presence. Now, absolutely beautiful as always. Love, love, love. Thank you, babe. Yes, so I wanted to come on today and talk about your posts. You know, what is the presence? What is the messaging that you're putting out with the stuff that you're putting out? It was really interesting. I put out this big post, that rejection post, right? Thank you, rejection. Thank you for rejecting me. And a lot of people were like, oh, like, is Jer okay? Like, is everything okay with her? And it's funny because I think that I lead my life to be able to teach people that the things that I'm overcoming and the things that I'm able to understand through this journey of transformation and working with my clients, you know, it's all an onion. So when you peel the onion back, we talk about this all the time, what happens is you start to realize certain things about yourself, right? And so one of the things that I've been noticing is a lot of people, and this is, I'm very choosy about the way that I put out my posts and the things that I like and the things that I share, because I like to do things in a positive way, right? I've always kind of been like this. I'm like, you know, the things that have happened to me in my life, I've used them as ammunition to push me forward, to be like, those are things that I don't want to experience anymore. So that I made that choice for myself to be like, I don't want to participate in this arena anymore. This is not who I am. This is not what I want to be. So my title for this video is give them a little bit so they want more, right? So when I'm talking about that, I'm talking about, you know, when you're coming on, you're telling your story, you are, you know, putting bios out there, or you're starting your business, or, you know, you're getting into relationships. It's always kind of nice to hold back a little bit, to have a sense of mystery, right? It's not, you're not putting everything out there on the table for people to kind of use and dissect that information the way that they want to. Instead, it's kind of looking at this, and it's your posts, right? I want to ask everybody on my friends list to ask these questions the next time you are going to post something, or you're going to, you know, go out there and say stuff, even in job interviews. Like, it's so interesting, you know, well, they say, tell me a little bit about you, right? And it's like, people come in there and they tell like their life story. It's like, oh, well, I got a dog, and, you know, he's amazing, he's got his own person. It's like, honey, no, there's a place and time for certain information. And especially, you know, social media is huge, and you really want to be putting your best foot forward and really presenting yourself in a way that's professional, that's proactive, that's positive, and necessary to the conversation, right? So that's what I'm going to ask you guys today. So when you are posting things, when you are having conversations, when you're talking about your business, all of these different types of things, I want you to really ask the question, is this content of what I'm going to share, is it positive, right? So of course, we live in an inundated world of negativity, especially being Indigenous. You know, we're all reclaiming ourselves, we're finding ourselves. The word reconciliation comes out a lot. And I don't really know if I believe in those things, because I feel like reconciliation happens within you, and then you then are that beam, right? So I have not issues, but just questions around those stuff. But anyways, that's getting off topic. So first thing is it positive? Because again, we live in a world where lots of stuff is happening. It's really hard. So why can't we just all love each other instead, right? And the thing I find is because we live in such like a victimized world, it's so filled with trauma, and you know, it's like everyone's always kind of out here blaming. Oh, well, I'm like this because I can't get a job, or oh, I'm like this because my mom didn't love me, or oh, whatever it is, right? Like, no, that's not the way to do it, right? The thing is sometimes when we're putting ourselves out there, we are re-traumatizing ourselves. We're not actually holding ourselves to, like, you know, we go out and we're like, you have to respect me, you have to trust me, you have to like love me and treat me like the best person in the world. It's like, but if you yourself are going around giving yourself so easily to everybody, then people are just going to think that it's easy to come by and easy to go, right? So you need to hold yourself to that certain standard of, no, it's not easy to get to know me. You have to put in some work and effort into getting these things with me. So that goes with your business, that goes with the way that you're selling yourself, the way that you're talking about yourself, even pictures, you know. That's so huge, because I mean, when I worked in human resources, we would actually, when we were hiring somebody in a leadership position, we would go through their social media and we would be like, ooh, is this really the kind of person that we want representing our company, right? So again, all of these things are so crucial, they're so important, and things to be thinking about when you're posting, right? Second thing, is it proactive, right? So again, with everything that you're putting out, is it the problems here, right? I made a cupcake. Do I want to be proactive, which is like, I want this to be multigrain, I want it to be really healthy, I know I have to cook it, I need eggs, whatever. Or are you going to be reactive? I have the cupcake and, oh, I have to fix the cupcake because I didn't put enough baking soda, I didn't put whatever, right? So do you have a problem, and do you want to be proactive or do you want to be reactive? So these are things to really think about when you are putting things out there, in terms of, you know, your businesses, anything. Just ask these simple questions, right? So proactive is, I want to be positive. I want to be on the stand of like, I have a sense of control. I know what's going to happen when I do this, and it's really thinking out what's going to happen. Then it's reactive, which is like, oh, I'm just going to deal with anything that comes along, right? And that sometimes can be a little more challenging, because if you did the tasks and the things to make sure that things wouldn't happen that way, they probably wouldn't have, right? So again, these are things just to think about. The other thing that I want to ask is the content necessary, right? It's like, yeah, we have all of these things that are happening in our communities. We have all of these things that are the challenges. It's hard, right? Like, there's a lot of bad things going on. But it's like, are we adding to the fire, or are we helping to be like, yeah, there's a fire going on here, but I'm just gonna kind of stand and not add to it and put negativity and spew all of these things and be like, oh. So again, it's where do you want to stand on this conversation, right? Like, is it adding to it? Are you providing a solution to the problem, or are you just talking about the problem, right? These are all things to think about, because you know, we live in a world where, you know, so much bullying is going on. People feel like they have the right to say whatever it is that they wanted to you, and they're projecting a lot of their stuff on us. It's like, dude, I didn't even mean that. I wasn't even talking to you. But it's the reality that we live in, and if you want to play in this arena, these are the things that you need to be thinking about. So again, just being reflective and looking at what it is that you're posting and putting out there, your testimonies, your lives, whatever it is, you know, putting your best foot forward and really owning your presence, having control and knowing that this can be perceived this way. This is not the way that I want it to be, right? And of course, everybody wants to own their story, their voice. They want to put themselves out there and just to really release and have a sense of freedom, right? Which is great. But again, do it in a way that you can control the content, a way that you can really walk away knowing that you're serving the purpose which it is that you're trying to, right? So again, when you're posting things, make sure you're not in a reactive state, first of all, that's going to be huge, right? And that the content that you're putting out there isn't re-victimizing yourself. It's not re-victimizing other people, because again, this is a huge thing, right? The other thing is asking those quick questions. Is this post positive? Is it proactive? And is it necessary to the conversation, right? Again, these are just things to think about when you guys are building your businesses, when you guys are doing whatever it is that you're doing amazing in the world. I'm super happy to see all your guys' posts. And let me know if you guys like this, if you guys also notice that, you know, you're noticing a lot of people saying the same things and it's not really adding to anything. This is just something to think about moving forward. And I thought, you know, it would help people. So lots of love to y'all. Thanks so much for having me. That's another Wild Woman Wisdom. And I did 2 this week. Aren't you guys proud of me? Yay. Oh, other thing I wanted to mention, if you guys haven't subscribed, liked, or shared the Legacy channel, I just shared my video yesterday. It's kind of embarrassing, but I'm a goofball, so that's just how it is. So if you haven't, check that out. Subscribe to that channel, support. Yeah, there are lots of amazing things coming up. If you guys have questions, concerns, you guys need you know, some help with, you know, stuff that I was talking about today, definitely reach out to me, because I'm here for you. I'm your girl, and I love doing these lives with you guys. Thank you guys for joining and supporting. I love you guys lots. Take care. Bye.